What's up, BB Clan? Alex Espion here, and welcome back to the next episode of the Pokemon Gold Randomizer Nuzlocke. In the last episode, we beat the 8th gym, finally, at long last. And now we are going down Route 45. I guess heading to the Dragon's Den is what I was gonna say. But now I recall that that is not where that is. Yeah, I honestly don't know why I went down this way. I guess I was just really sidetracked by the Yu-Gi-Oh! Talk that I was doing in the last episode because I was talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. If you want to hear talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, then go back and watch that episode. But also, if you want to see me beat the gym, then you should also go check out that episode. And if you want to see a combination of me beating a gym and talking Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, then that's the perfect episode for you. So, we caught an Apom in the last episode. That's our encounter on this route. I honestly don't think we can go back up from here without just, like, flying back to the nearest Pokemon Center, like in Blackthorn City. Yeah, I guess the Yu-Gi-Oh! Talk, with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Talk, I completely and utterly forgot that Claire told me, like, hey, in order to get the gym badge, you need to go to the Dragon's Den behind the gym. Because I didn't go behind the gym, I went down. I got out the gym and went down. Exited the town through the southerly way. So, yeah, I can't get up. There's a ledge there, preventing me from going that way. There's a ledge there, preventing me from going that way. There's a ledge on my left as well, preventing me from going that way. So, ledges on all sides. I can only go down one of them, which is the one below me, but that only brings me farther down. So, yeah, I think the only way to get back up from here is just to simply fly back to Blackthorn. And fly back to the back in black, you know. But now we have a Charizard out in the field, so Quincy's gotta get the heck out. Get our grass type off the field. I forgot in the last episode I was going to check Weepinbell's stats to see if they are a physical or special attacker, because when one of your stabs is a physical type and one of your stabs is a special type, that matters. Which, as I said in the last episode, I believe that is the case. I believe that grass is special while poison is physical. I'm not 100% sure, however, it just makes more sense. It just makes the most sense for grass to be special. Because the other two types that the starters are special. And I feel like they wouldn't make just one of them special or just one of them physical. If one of them was physical, they'd make them all physical, and if one of them was special, they'd make them all special. Because, I don't know, because I think that just makes it, the most fair, you know? That's just the most fair thing to do in terms of, like, power scaling the starters, making them all pretty much equal in power. Like, not making only one of them physical or only one of them special. Because that just makes it disproportionate, you know? Makes the amount that is physical and special disproportionate, rather than equal with them all being special or all being physical. But who has Fly? It is Nina. How could I forget? Our giant, bulking behemoth, big old girl, who somehow can fly. Very comical. Big, blue, and beautiful. As, they almost say in Hairspray. It's big, blonde, and beautiful, but, you know, we still got the alliteration. It's fine. I pretty much got the gist of it with my, little parody there. Not a parody, it was just a sentence. I could make a parody. I could make a parody of, Big, Blonde, and Beautiful, from Hairspray, but it's big, blue, and beautiful, and it's about Anita Queen. That seems excessive, but, I could. That's an idea. I should write that down. Let me write that down somewhere after this episode's over, if I remember it. I probably will write it down when I'm editing this, when I hear it. Or I'll just, while I'm editing it, say, wow, that's frickin' stupid, and not write it down at all, because it's frickin' stupid. That could be the case, too. Definitely when I'm, looking back on this, I might be in a more clear state of mind, and think to myself, wow, that was a dumb idea that I just proposed. Why would I ask my future self to write that down? And then just not. You know, you never know. You know that you never know. Weird sentence. Since Claire the Dragon Master has allowed it, you may enter. Okay, cool. What does the sign say? Dragon's Den ahead. Okay, it doesn't say do not enter, the guy's here for that. They don't need a sign that says do not enter when they have a guy that says do not enter. Did I go down the ladder? Okay, down the ladder looks just the same as up the ladder, so how was I supposed to know? This place even looks quite different from the way it does in Heart Gold Soul Silver. Everything at this point in the game looks different from the way it does in Heart Gold Soul Silver, to be honest. Do I not have to do, like, the Whirlpool stuff? Is, like, the Whirlpool puzzle in here not in this? Or is there even a Whirlpool puzzle, or do you just go past Whirlpools and it's not really a puzzle, it's just... they're just there as an obstacle, a completely obvious obstacle with a completely obvious way of getting through them? That could be the case as well. It could not be a puzzle at all. I don't know Johto well enough, and obviously it could be different in Gen 2. I don't know. So what are we gonna do about this Bay Leaf in order to catch it? Level 15. How do you weaken a level 15 Pokemon? The answer is not efficiently. Vine Whip? It's not very effective. I'd be filled with more confidence doing this if it was poison and grass like, Ivysaur was. But no, this middle evolution of a starter is not... this middle evolution of a grass-type starter is not poison grass, it is just straight grass. So it is only resisting, grass-type moves, and not 4 times resisting grass-type moves. So it made me a little less confident going for one, that it would not kill. But, it did not end up killing, which is great. We've got it in the red, and now we're going to put it to sleep, because I know how low the catch rates of starters are. And then from there, we are going to start chucking balls, and hope that the sleep and it being in the red, and a great ball, is enough. Hope that combination is enough. I feel like it's going to be, because it's only level 15. I know we could have Ultra Balls at this point in the game, but I also feel like the levels of wild Pokemon in this game are so low, even at this point in the game, that you don't really need Ultra Balls for most of the region, as long as you have a means of weakening Pokemon down and statusing them. Like, Ultra Balls I feel aren't really needed, at least in Johto. Maybe in Kanto, but I feel like the levels of wild Pokemon don't go up really that much in Kanto, if at all. So, maybe in Kanto we will continue to not need Ultra Balls. I don't really know. The scent of spices comes from around its neck. Somehow, sniffing it makes you want to fight. Wow, that's interesting. That is something that I did not know about Bayleaf. It has it fills people with aggressive tendencies with the smell of its neck. Strange. Strange little piece of lore they decided to include centered around this Pokemon. It's a guy. What are we gonna name this guy? We're gonna name it Ted. I don't think I've ever named a Pokemon Ted before. Doesn't look familiar. We'll name it Ted. I also want to name a Pokemon Ed, because I definitely haven't done that one before. And then maybe Eddie is another one that I came up with. And then we can have Ed, and Eddie, because, well, I guess just Ed and Eddie, because I'm not gonna have another Ed. I could have another Ed. Theoretically, I could call something Ed, then could call something else Eddie, and then, okay, yeah, right, let's learn the move Whirlpool, because we needed another Water HM in Pokemon. I know that Dive came out later, but it still makes me angry that we have Surf, Waterfall, Dive, and then also this. Honestly, this thing never should have come out, because Whirlpool is just not a good move, unlike Surf, Dive, and Waterfall. I mean, Dive is not that good, but at least it's better than Whirlpool. Whirlpool is absolute hot garbage of a move. So let's teach someone Whirlpool, because we have to, because we need another Water HM, and it's not even a cool third Water HM, like Dive is in Hoenn. It's just a third Water HM. I can excuse the use of the need for 3 Water HMs in Hoenn, because first of all, a lot of water in that region. Second, Dive is a pretty good move. And third, the idea of diving underwater in a Pokemon game is really cool. However, in this game, I cannot excuse the use of 3 Water HM, the need for 3 Water HMs, because there's not even that much water in this game. Whirlpool's not a good move, and needing to teach an HM to go over Whirlpool is not cool. It is the complete opposite of what makes Dive in Hoenn fine, so therefore it is most definitely not fine. Whirlpool in Johto is so much worse as a concept, as a game design mechanic, than Dive in Hoenn. Change my mind. You can't, you won't, because guess what? Johto sucks. Everyone knows it. Even people who like Johto know it. They just don't want to admit it because they're blinded by nostalgia. I'm sorry to all the Johto lovers. I'm coming on a little harsh, I'm sure, but I just don't really like this game. And from what I hear from a lot of people who play Pokemon as a job, Pokemon YouTubers who get money from playing Pokemon, what I hear from a lot of them is things that reflect what I just said. Johto is just not that good. Not that good of a Pokemon region. The Johto games are just not that good. But who do we want to teach Whirlpool to? Enough complaining about the fact that I need to teach Whirlpool to someone. Let's just do it and get it over with. And be sad about it later. I feel like we get rid of Poison Powder. If it was 100% accuracy, I'd say, heck yeah, let's keep it. Because Poison can come in handy, but also, it's not. So, I mean, maybe it is. Is this a gen where Grass types can't miss Powder moves? Like Stun Spore, Sleep Powder, Poison Powder? I feel like that's a thing in future gens. I don't know if it's a thing in this gen, though. I don't really know. I haven't missed a Sleep Powder yet. Then again, I haven't used a lot of Sleep Powders yet, so I'm not sure. I mean, okay, what are my other options? Stop learning Whirlpool? Yes. Honestly, let's instead see if we can teach it to Shucky, because I feel like Shucky doesn't have like a real complete moveset. Whereas Weepinbell's moveset seems kind of complete. Obviously, it could be better, but it's 4 moves that are like things that we use, right? Or could use. Like Poison Powder we haven't used yet, but theoretically it's useful. We haven't found a situation where it's useful yet, but theoretically it's useful. What did I get rid of? What did I get rid of? I got rid of Curse? Okay. I mean, I gotta stop spamming when I get to Shucky's moveset, because that's the second time I've accidentally deleted a move on Shucky. A Whirlpool is in the way. Want to use Whirlpool? And it's, of course, the first one again, because I just keep on clicking. I just keep on spam clicking, or spam pressing A, when we're learning a new move. And so the move menu opens up, and before I can go down, change what move we're on, it just is auto on the first, and it just presses on the first, because it is auto on the first, right? So, Politoed. Do we get an encounter here yet? We did get an encounter here. I named it Ted. And then I branched off into a talk about Ed, Edd and Eddy, which is a show I've never even watched, by the way, but I know it's a thing, so I feel like referencing it would be funny. And up until now, I've never done repeat names. I've never named a Pokemon 2 things, at least I've tried not to. Maybe I've slipped up, but I don't think I've slipped up in terms of this series. I may have just slipped up in terms of, like, I named something a name that I named a different thing in Gen 1 in, like, the Pokemon Red randomizer. Oh, I found the Dragon Fang. That's cool. So do we not have to go into that building because she said to bring back the Dragon Fang? Oh, wait. Okay, yeah. Alright, I recognize your true power. This badge is yours. Oh, okay, wait. So we didn't have to go into that building in the middle of the cave? What's that building for, then? Rising Badge will enable your Pokemon to use the move for climbing waterfalls. Okay, waterfall, cool. You could have just said waterfall. It's not a hard move name or anything. It's not complicated. I already have it. It's not like I wouldn't know what you're talking about. Or if I didn't know what you're talking about, if I didn't have it, then I wouldn't know what you're talking about, but I could assume, right? Like, I could assume what a move called Waterfall does. It allows you to go up a waterfall. I feel like that's within reasonable... I feel like that's a reasonable thing for me to assume. I feel like it's a reasonable thing for me to guess, right? Also, all Pokemon will recognize you as a trainer and obey your every command without question. See, this is something that is very different than in Heart Gold Soul Silver, because in Heart Gold Soul Silver you have to go into the house in the center of this place and do a quiz. Do a whole quiz, and then she comes in and she's like, "What? You passed the quiz? Not even I passed the quiz! That's impossible!" And then they're like, "No, it's not impossible. You're stupid and a sore loser," and give him the badge. And they're like, and she's like, "Fine." And then she gives you the badge and she goes, "Goodbye." Instead, in this, she's less of a sore loser, and she just kind of says, like, get the Dragon Fang, which is a sore loser thing to do. Like, obviously, not just giving me the badge. But, at least in this, when you do the thing she asks you to do, she's not like, impossible! How could this happen? She's like, okay, you got the Dragon Fang, sick, here's the badge. It's much less of a sore loser thing. Mind you, she's still a sore loser, but it's much less sore losery than in Heart Gold Soul Silver. They really turned up the sore loserness on Claire in the remakes. I also want you to have this TM. Yeah, that's something I respect about Heart Gold Soul Silver as remakes, is that at least they, like, actually changed things. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl changed, like, nothing. Same with the Fire Red and Leaf Green, I feel like. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I think out of all the remakes, changed the most things, except I haven't played Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire before, so I'm sure, and, like, I feel like they've changed a lot, but in terms of the main story, I don't feel like they changed all that much. They definitely, like, introduced that one character, like, Xenia, I believe her name is, and so that's cool. That's, like, a entirely new character. That's something big that they changed, but, I don't know, like, about other changes in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, just because I've never played it before. So, to my knowledge, Heart Gold Soul Silver is the remake that has the most differences, and I appreciate that. It contains Moonlight. If you don't want it, you don't have to take it. So, you've collected all the badges. Your destination is the Pokemon League, in Indigo Plateau. Do you know how to get there? From here, go to New Bark Town. Then surf east. The route there is very tough. Don't you dare lose at the Pokemon League. If you do, I'll feel even worse about having lost to you. Okay. And with that, honestly, very simply, we go back to New Bark Town. It's not all that much we have to do in between the 8th gym and the Pokemon League in this game. However, we do have to do one thing. It's not something we have to do, but it's something I'd like to do at this point, is get the Master Ball and get the Legendary. We gotta check out what our Legendary is in this playthrough of the game. For a second, I forgot about it. For a second, I was just like, oh yeah, we got the 8th gym badge. She's right. Let's just go to the Pokemon League now. That is our next step. But no, that is not our next step in the journey. First, we should go get our Legendary, see what that is. Get our Master Ball from Professor Elm while we're in New Bark Town. She's right. We should go to New Bark Town next, but not because we want to. Not because we're going to go to the Pokemon League from there just yet, but because we're going to get the Master Ball there first. Then go to the tower where we have to get the Legendary, and then catch it, then go back to New Bark Town, and then we go towards the Pokemon League. And I don't remember which of the Johto games, whether it's Gold and Silver or Heart Gold and Soul Silver, that it is that has, like, the really underwhelming Victory Road, where basically nothing happens, there's no trainers, you just kind of walk. But honestly, I kind of hate Pokemon. I kind of hate Victory Road in basically every Pokemon game it's in. It's just annoying and a big old maze, and it's waste your time, and has a lot of trainers that aren't tough enough to the point where they're challenged by themselves, but they're tough enough to the point where as you go through the cave and use up resources, they start to become challenging because then less and less of your Pokemon are able to fight. They just sort of overwhelm you. They're not hard trainers, they're just trainers that are hard enough to overwhelm you, like, as you fight more and more of them. They're trainers that are enough to, like, do damage to you, so that, like, they're not... One of them could not take you down, but the combined force of all the trainers in Victory Road, or, like, all the trainers you run into, over the course of Victory Road at least, is enough to whittle you down to the point of it being dangerous. If you bring in, like, a normal amount of resources, like healing items, into Victory Road. Hello, Alex. Hello, Alex. I have something here for you. Could you swing by my lab? See you later. Okay, and he calls you and tells you that he has the Master Ball, which I suppose why wouldn't he, but I wasn't expecting him to, for some reason. Yeah, that would be kind of rude if you could get a Master Ball from him and the game didn't tell you. I guess it does make a lot of sense for him to, like, notify you in some way that, like, hey, you can come to my lab and get a Master Ball. Especially if you're about to go to New Bark Town, it would make sense for him to notify you then. So yeah, in general, just good game design that they pulled out there. What's in this cave? Darkness. A lot of darkness. Is this a new encounter area? A new area where I can get an encounter? Or is this just Dark Cave again? I mean, this is a different entrance to Dark Cave. So depending on where we are on the map, I might consider this a new area, because the rule is you get an encounter on every new route and or area. So, Dark Cave. Okay, yeah, I think this is... It doesn't look like it's a new area. It looks like it's in the same general area where the Dark Cave was that we were in with... It looks like it's the same general area as the other entrance to the Dark Cave, so I'm not going to count this as a new encounter. It's just another entrance to the Dark Cave, which is not far enough from the first one for me to count that section of the Dark Cave as an area different from the other section of the Dark Cave that we were in. Or not even like a different section of the Dark Cave. Just like the section we were in, which when we entered the Dark Cave from the other entrance, which is the same section. The two sections of Dark Cave that you enter from the two entrances are actually, in fact, just one section by my definition, and therefore just one area, just one route and or area, and so therefore we cannot get another encounter by going through another encounter in Dark Cave by going through that entrance. I keep on saying I'm gonna check Quincy's stats to see if they're a physical attacker or a special attacker, but I keep on not doing it. So, you know what? I'm gonna keep thinking about it. I'm not gonna go off on a rant. I'm not gonna go off on a tangent, like start talking about something else before I finish this battle. I'm just gonna keep talking about how I need to check Quincy's stats after this battle finishes, and so that way I don't forget by the time the battle's over, because I'm still on that topic. I haven't moved on from it, and so therefore I can't forget it because it's the topic that I'm currently on. How could I forget the topic that I'm currently on if I keep on talking about it? Surely I would not forget a topic that I'm on unless I'm no longer on it, at least for a second. Like, I would have to stop talking about it for like at least a second for me to figure out, for me to like fall off of that topic, forget that topic, and I didn't stop talking about that topic for even a second, so I remembered. Its attack is higher than its special attack, but not actually by all that much. It is more of a mixed attacker, actually, which is good for a Pokemon whose stab is... where one of their stabs is physical and one of their stabs is special. That's good. Burnt Berry, okay. Another berry that heals Freeze, I believe. Not Burn. Despite the fact that it is Burn in the name, it is in fact a berry that heals Freeze, because the fact that the berry is... because it's a berry that's burning, not a berry that heals you when you're burning. No, a berry that is burning would heal you when you're frozen. That makes sense. What is your battle strategy? It is foolish to use strong moves indiscriminately. I mean, my battle strategy is kind of non-existent at this point in the game, because all you trainers have levels that are so low that I don't really need one. And my team is pretty darn good. Knock on that wood. So, yeah, I really haven't had a battle strategy for... Honestly, I don't think any battle in this game. And I will continue to not have a battle strategy, I suppose. Because it's kind of hard to have a battle strategy when you don't know what's coming up. It's kind of hard to plan for something that is completely random, you know? It's kind of hard to plan for a battle where all their Pokemon could be anything. So, like, what strategy am I supposed to have? What strategy do you have in a Nuzlocke? What strategy do you go into a battle with? You kind of got to think on the fly. That's what's... Well, I guess in a randomized Nuzlocke. I don't think I said randomized Nuzlocke. What kind of strategy do you have in a randomized Nuzlocke? I mean, I don't think you can really have a strategy. I think you just kind of got to think on the fly. At least most of the time. I mean, yeah, actually all the time, because every every wild Pokemon, randomized. It could be anything. You got to be ready for anything. You don't have the ability to plan outside of a battle, because you don't know what the next battle holds. You don't know the possibilities of... Well, you know the possibilities, but you don't know what the next battle you could possibly be facing, so you have no way of knowing. You couldn't possibly have any idea what you're facing in the next battle. So, in that sense, you can't really prepare. You can't really come up with a strategy before the battle starts. You gotta think on your feet. You gotta assess the situation as it's happening. You gotta observe what they're sending out and sort of act off of that. You can't plan ahead of time based on what Pokemon you know they're going to have, because you don't know what Pokemon they're going to have. You gotta start planning after the battle has already begun. You gotta come up with your strategy when the battle is already underway. And I think that is one of the things that is really interesting about a randomized Nuzlocke. A lot of people like regular Nuzlocks better, and I think that, yeah, there are things to be said about a regular Nuzlocke, because then you get to plan. Like, if you like planning, I know Alpharad definitely prefers his normal Nuzlocks on randomized Nuzlocks, because he likes planning. He likes having an idea of what the opponent is going to have, and planning a team to counter that. I understand the appeal of that. However, I personally am really a big fan of the idea of not having any way of knowing what the opponent is going to send out, and having to sort of think on the fly. Work with what I got. Not being able to design a team around what I know a trainer has, because I don't know what a trainer is going to have. I just have to go into it. I just have to hope that what I got can get me through the battle. I can't strategize with any particular opponent team in mind, because I don't know what any opponent's team is going to be. I think that's very interesting. But obviously, as I said, I can see both sides to it. There's the... Do you enjoy strategy? Do you enjoy, like... Do you enjoy strategizing ahead of time, making a plan in order to counter the next obstacle before it happens? Knowing how to counter it before it happens? Or do you enjoy... like, being thrown into a situation and having to figure your way out of it, thinking on your feet. Oh gosh, Quincy's dead. Quincy is very dead. I put it to sleep so it wouldn't blow up! My shiny's dead. Well, at least I have another one. Somehow I have another one, so you know what? I mean, tragic, but also, I wasn't really attached to that one anyway. We didn't even do a grinding montage for that one. It was just kind of on the team for a little while, and then it died. You know, that's Nuzlocke. That's Nuzlocke, right? Fine, I lost. I mean, you lost, but who's the real loser here? Because, your Pokemon, you could just bring right back to a Pokemon Center, and they come right back to life. Mine! Oh, Quincy's dead. Quincy's dead. I'm not in favor of overly powerful moves. I want to win, but I also don't want to harm Pokemon. Wow, the turn 1 wake-up is just unfortunate. I put that thing to sleep specifically so that it wouldn't blow up. I knew it was going to blow up. I planned around it blowing up. And then the game said, nope, guess what? It wakes up turn after you put it to sleep. Just so it can blow up before you kill it. If it stayed asleep for another turn, I would have been fine. But no. Woke up the first turn it was able to. Of course. Of course. My bad, I guess. I suppose I should have... I mean, in all honesty, I just should have sent out a Pokemon that's stronger so that it would just one-shot it. But, like, I wanted to get Quincy XP. Is that such a crime that I wanted to get the Pokemon that has the least levels on my team XP? It's not. It's not a crime. It was just maybe kind of stupid. When there was something with self-destruct out on the field. Maybe just kind of a stupid idea. Not a crime. Just kind of dumb. I was training here alone. Behold, the fruits of my labor! Are they going to be under-leveled Pokemon comparatively to my team? Schoolboy Jasmine, sending out Growlithe. Okay, that's actually not particularly that under-leveled. I mean, yes it is. Actually, I was comparing it to Quincy's level. When I compare it to the rest of the team's level, yeah, that is pretty darn under-leveled, isn't it? Whirlpool is special. Is Shucky a physical attacker? I mean, in this generation... I hope they are, because Ghost is physical. In future generations, I kind of hope they're not. Special attack's 113. Wow. That is pitiful. Haunter and the Ghastly line in Gen 1 and Gen 2 and Gen 3 are pitiful. Attack 54? Compared to 113 special attack And Ghost is physical? Why is Ghost even physical? Ghost being physical doesn't make any sense. And yet, that choice, you'd think, oh, it doesn't make any sense as a choice. The reason why they're doing it is because it doesn't make any logical sense. So the reason why they made that choice is because it fits the stats of the Pokemon, of the Ghost type Pokemon. It doesn't. It's a special attacker. It's almost double as good. It is double. It's double. Its special attack is double its physical attack, and yet this is the only Ghost type in Gen 1, mind you. This is the only Ghost type line, Ghastly, Haunter, Gengar. So it's not like they were making Ghost physical in order to benefit a Pokemon, in order to benefit a certain Pokemon or certain evolution line. No, they just decided to make Ghost physical, knowing that it would screw over the only Ghost type that existed when they existed in the game where they made this decision. And when they introduced new Ghost types, they didn't even change it, even though I'm sure those ones are also special attackers. Or maybe they learned their lesson with the Ghastly line, and they said, you know what? For some reason, we decided to make Ghost physical, and then we decided to make only one Ghost type line. Well, okay. Well, maybe they said to themselves, we decided to make Ghost physical for some reason, and then we decided to make the only Ghost types special attackers. So let's not do that anymore. Let's fix that problem by fixing only one of those things. They didn't fix the other thing until Gen 4. But maybe, just maybe, in future generations, they fix the Ghost types only being special attackers thing. However, I don't think they fixed it in Gen 2, because the only Ghost type they introduced in Gen 2 is Mischievous, and that thing looks like a special attacker to me. So, I mean, I think that genuinely, for 2 gens, Ghost types were simply not that good outside of their immunity to Psychic type moves, because their stats didn't align with the type of their moves. Their stats didn't align with the with whether their moves. Their types didn't align with. What am I trying to say? Gen 1 and Gen 2, I think the only thing that Ghost types had going for them was that they were immune to Psychic, because their stats didn't align with the fact that their type was physical. Their moves were physical. It didn't align with the fact that their moves were physical. Their stats did not align with the fact that their moves were physical, so therefore I think they just sucked at attacking. And so therefore, really the only advantage they had, I think, because I don't think Mischievous nor the Ghastly line are particularly bulky. Like, maybe they're not attackers, but maybe they're not good attackers because of their, them having the wrong type of attack for their, the type that, for the physical or special designation that their move is. But, like, maybe they didn't have the right designation, they didn't have the right stat spread, they didn't have the right type of attack stat. They weren't good in the right type of attack stat for their designation in terms of whether their moves are physical or special. And I don't even think that the Ghastly line or the Mischievous, the two Ghost type options in Gens 1 and 2, were that bulky either. So therefore, all of their stats, for what they are, for what Ghost types are, just kind of sucked. All of Ghost type stats, for what they are, just kind of sucked. For what the type is. And so, therefore, the only thing I think Ghost types had going for them, Gen 1 and Gen 2, was their immunity to Psychic. Because their stats just suck. And their moves they don't even have many options move-wise. So, stats suck, learn. Stats suck. Learn sets are bad. Stats suck. Learn sets are bad. Really, I think the only thing they had going for them then was the fact that they were immune to Psychic. I don't see any other benefits of using a Ghost type, Gen 1 and Gen 2, do you? I don't. Comment down below if you have one. I cannot think of one. This calls for extreme measures. I must take to the hills and train in solitude. Wow, you're pretty tough. Could I get your phone number? You know, so I can call you while I'm taking to the hills and training in solitude in the hills? In nature? I can call you? Okay. Just talk to me if you want to get my phone number. Okay, will do. Thank you. I probably won't, but thank you. Level Ball, we got another one. Great. I don't know what we're gonna do with that, because the Great Balls seem to be doing just fine, and we're able to buy Ultra Balls at this point. If the Great Balls are doing just fine, I'm sure the Ultra Balls will be doing, like, obviously they'll be doing better. If Great Balls are doing just fine, I'm sure Ultra Balls are gonna be all we need for the rest of the game, frankly. But, I mean, I guess Level Balls, good too, I guess. But I just don't think we need them. If Great Balls are already doing so well, and we have a whole class of Pokeball above that we still haven't even bought yet. So we're gonna get Chucky the heck out of here, because I don't want to lose another Pokemon in this episode. I don't really feel like there's anything realistically I can replace, I don't really feel like there's anything realistically I can replace Quincy with that I wouldn't need to grind up a crazy amount. And so, and I feel like I'd rather just wait till we get the Legendary on our team, which I'm not going to need to grind up, rather than have to grind up something a crazy amount just to swap it out for a Legendary in, like, the next couple episodes. In, like, another 2 episodes, you know? Another 1 or 2 episodes. It could be next episode that we catch the Legendary. It could be the episode after that. I don't really know. I don't really know how long it takes to get up the tower and get to Ho-Oh. I know how long it's going to take to catch it, though. 1 turn, because we're going to get the Master Ball and we're going to use it. Shucky is level 40. Almost up to the same level as the rest of the team. Ignore Quincy. Quincy's dead. Quincy's not really a part of the team. They're just sort of, in limbo. They're not alive, but I guess they're not fully dead because they have not been sent to the dead box yet. What are we going to do against Charizard over here? Game Freak's favorite. Game Freak's basic-ass favorite. Let's go with Judy. That was a bad idea. This is a flying type. Alex, you're not thinking. You're not using your brain. Start using your brain. Because you sent in a fighting type against a flying type. I mean, I don't think it poses much of a threat in all honesty because it's level 24 and Judy's level 41, but it's still stupid. It was still a stupid decision. It's a stupid decision that will have realistically no repercussions because we're so much stronger than the opponent, but if that thing was the same level as us, I probably would have paid for that decision. Maybe. Maybe not, because Judy has pretty good defense, I believe. It looks like a Pokemon that would be very bulky. It looks very, big and muscular and, you know, it looks like the kind of body that would be hard to, like, get a solid hit on. It looks like it could take a lot of hits. Let me put it that way. Alex put the sharp beak in the item pocket. Definitely a very fit, muscular body that Poliwrath's got. Rock hard, I'd say. Rock hard abs. Not really abs, but you know what I mean. Still rock hard. Still rock hard chest area. Like, I feel like that thing is very defensive. I feel like it's got a lot of muscle to it that's hard to break through. Hard to break through those muscular defenses. Why do I climb mountains? Because they're there. Why do I train Pokemon? Because they're there. Huh, I'm starting to notice a pattern. Y'all at home starting to notice a pattern? I'm starting to notice a pattern. Nurse Kate wants to battle. Okay, Nurse Kate, what you sending out? You're sending out a Weedle. That's great. That's great, Nurse Kate. That rhymes, so you know it's true. And we are going to... Shucky's going to take down this Weedle like it's nothing, because it is, because Shucky is over 13 levels above it, and while it's not a fully evolved Pokemon, Shucky, she is, still an evolutionary stage above Weedle. an evolutionary stage above Weedle, and 13 levels above Weedle. This should not be a challenge for Shucky whatsoever. And also the fact that it's a bug and poison type, and one of those types, poison, is not very effective against Shucky, because Shucky is a poison type, helps too. Bug, I don't know if it's super effective against poison, or is resisted, or poison resists it. I honestly don't know in this game. I believe in Gen 1, Bug was super effective against poison. I think it's been changed since then, but it may not have been. I just may not know my Bug type matchups, which is very... which would make a lot of sense, considering how little I've used Bug types in the past. And in general, how little people tend to use Bug... and how little people tend to use Bug types in general. Like, it's not like I have a lot to go off of. It's not like... oh, I haven't used a lot of Bug types, but I've seen people use Bug types, so I know, I have an idea of what their type effectiveness is, and like what they resist, and what they... no, I don't know that. I haven't used a lot of Bug types, and I haven't seen people use a lot of Bug types, so therefore I really don't know my Bug type matchups. Losses. They're there too! Okay, we're being called by Kate the Poet once again. Good morning, Alex. This is Kate. Did I wake you? Do you want a battle? I'm going to win this time. I'll be waiting for you around Route 38. Look for me, okay? Bye-bye. Okay, bye, Kate. Another call in 2 episodes. That's crazy. I think it was this episode, or earlier in this episode that she called. The best thing to ever happen to me was discovering Pokemon. Okay. Neat. So I don't know if I was in the middle of a train of thought or something, but I tend to lose my train of thought, and then it never comes back into the station. Often, I feel. I just end off an episode without finishing the thought I was on, because I go down so many tangents that I forget what the original thing that I was talking about was. I branch off into so many side conversations and stuff with y'all. One-way conversations, because you can't talk back to me. I mean, I guess you could. You could comment down below. You could give me the conversation. You could give me your side of the conversation that way, but is this still the Dark Cave? I think this is still the Dark Cave. You can give me your side of the conversation that way, but I can't see it until after I've already ended the episode and edited it and posted it. So, yeah, it's kind of a very one-sided conversation as it stands now. May become a two-sided conversation if y'all comment down below, if y'all drop me some comments and talk to me that way. But for now, it is definitely a one-sided conversation because I cannot hear what you're saying in response to what I'm saying right now. Will you battle with me? Yeah, sure. I didn't hear your first dialogue. I didn't see your first dialogue box. I didn't read it, but I'm sure it was just a realistic thing to say before will you battle me. Yeah, right, as I was saying, I don't know my bug type matchups very well because I've neither used a lot of bug types nor seen people use a lot of bug types, so it could be that bug is still super effective against poison, but I feel like it is not. I feel like that is something that has been changed. I feel like I heard somewhere, actually I feel like I heard in multiple places, that is something that has been changed over the course of Pokemon's history, over the course of the history of the games, of the Pokemon games, and yeah, I feel like that is something that has been changed over the course of the Pokemon games, the game franchise, the Pokemon game franchise. Gosh, I can't orchestrate that properly. Because if I say over the course of Pokemon, that could be like the cards, the anime. If I say over the course of the games, that could be any games. Over the course of the Pokemon games, yeah, I feel like that is something that I've heard has changed from a bunch of people over the course of the Pokemon games. And so I believe that it is something that has changed, but I wouldn't know, honestly, because I just simply don't know. I wouldn't know for sure, honestly, because I simply don't know my bug type matchups. What? Yeah, that's right, I don't know my bug type matchups. I'm sorry, camper, whatever your name was. I guess you're not even a camper in this because trainer classes are randomized as well as trainer names, so you could be artist for all I know. I did my best, but came up short. No excuses. I admit I lost. Okay. There's a Pokeball here. I thought for sure we would have gotten down to a place by now where we've already been to. Like, and I even like thought I recognized that guy's dialogue. So I'm like, this is a trainer we've already fought before who called us for looking for a rematch. So now we're rematching him. That's why we're fighting him again. But we've already fought him before. That's why. The only reason why we're fighting him is because we're fighting him again because he asked for a rematch. That's what I was thinking. But actually, maybe we haven't been in this area before because I didn't get that Pokeball. And normally I pick up every Pokeball I see in order to eliminate confusion later. Yeah, this person also does not seem to have been beaten yet. So I guess we are still in uncharted territory right now. I raised Pokemon too. Let's battle. Okay. However, I feel like at this point we're getting rather close to back at the beginning of the game. So I wonder if the levels are going to start to go down from here. Or start to go down now? Or, oh yeah, they do seem to be going down a considerable amount, but then again, they weren't very high before, so maybe they're not going down. It's just this one trainer who's, like, weird. who's got slightly lower levels than the last one, so it looks weird. It looks like it's going down, but maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't start really going down until you hop down some ledge, and then you're, like, really back at the beginning of the game, but, like, maybe this place is not somewhere you're able to get to at the beginning of the game. So, and it will be quite a ways before we get to a place where you're able to get to at the beginning of the game. Because it's just, like, probably a ledge, making it a one-way. Like, you can't go up that way, but you can go down that way to get back to the beginning of the game. You can't go up that way to get to the end of the game, but you can go down that way to get back to the beginning of the game. It's probably that way. However, if this is going to spit us out, like, this way we're going, if this direction we're going is going to spit us out, like, right above where we started the game, then, yeah, level 16 is probably still, way too high for you to be able to access this area at the beginning of the game, so I'd imagine we have to go down a decent way before we even get to... We have to go down a decent way still before we get to, an area which is, close to... which is, like, really close to where the game starts. And actually, maybe it is that we are right... Or actually, maybe it is that we are right near where the game starts right now, and there's just a ledge, like, fully... And there's just, like, one ledge blocking this path off from... This path down off from where the game starts. So maybe it's not going to be like a slow, oh, the levels are slowly going down as you go down, like, the levels are slowly going down as you go down more ledges because you're getting closer and closer to the beginning of the game, and then you're getting to places, like, where you can, like, you could access at the beginning of the game. Maybe it's just going to be, like, go down this ledge, all of a sudden, you're back to the beginning of the game. Like, the levels are not going to slowly go down, it's just going to be like, this is end game area, and now this is start of the game area. Like, it's not going to be, like, a slow, leveling down. It's just going to be like sudden drop in levels, sudden drop in the trainer levels, because you suddenly go down a ledge and you're just at the you went from a end of the game area to a beginning of the game area. Suddenly. Just by going down a ledge. Just by going down one ledge. Oh, darn it! I've been to many gyms, but the gym in Goldenrod is my favorite. It's filled with pretty flowers. Wow, you're good at battling. Want to give me your phone number? I'll phone you for another battle. Nope. Sorry. Oh, fine then. If you want to get my phone number, just tell me. Aren't you, like, too young to have a phone? I mean, I guess no one is in... Oh, yeah, I remember this place. Yeah, we did suddenly just drop down a ledge, and now we're, like, right at the beginning of the game. Route 46. Mountain road ahead. I remember reading that sign and being like, well, we can't get up there, can we? But we did get an encounter there. However, I do believe that that like ending part is a different route than I think Mountain Road. There was like Route 45 and Route 46. I think are both Mountain Road. So I think Route 46 Mountain Road, we already got an encounter at the beginning of the game, but Route 45 Mountain Road was new. I think part of Mountain Road, because I remember reading a sign earlier that said Mountain Road, but I think that was Route 45. I think Route 45 and Route 46 are both Mountain Road, and so that's why we already got an encounter on Mountain Road, I think earlier in this episode, or in the last episode. But I think that it's still, but why I think it still counts, it's why I think it's legal, even though we got an encounter on a Mountain Road route before, because I think there are 2 Mountain Road routes. Is this a lab? Are we gonna come here and get our Master Ball? Hi, Alex. Thanks to you, my research is going great. Take this as a token of my appreciation. Alex received Master Ball. Great! Okay, so in the next episode, we are going to use that to go catch the Legendary, or we're just going to go up his tower and then catch the Legendary in the next episode after that. But either way, our next objective is to go catch the Legendary with that Master Ball that we just received. The Master Ball is the best. It's the ultimate ball. It'll catch any Pokemon without fail. It's given only to recognized Pokemon researchers. I think you can make better use of it than I can, Alex. Yeah, why is it given to Pokemon researchers? Like, what are they gonna do with it? They don't even go out. They just sort of, like, have the Pokemon brought into them. Why would they need Pokeballs? Like, when has a Pokemon researcher ever gone out and gotten their own Pokemon? They always ask, like, a 10-year-old to just, like, fill out a Pokedex for them. And then they, like, examine the Pokedex. They don't even, like, examine the Pokemon. Like, at least in the anime, Ash sends Oak Pokemon to examine. Like, in the games, you just give them a Pokedex. You just show them a Pokedex, and they're like, wow, thanks, this is so helpful for my research, you know? It's like, you didn't even give them a real Pokemon in the games. At least Ash gave Professor Oak real-life Pokemon to look at in the anime. In the games, meanwhile, you literally just show them your Pokedex, and they just, like, are like, wow, this is a great thing to base my research off of. You don't even give them real, living, breathing Pokemon to look at. You just give them Pokedex entries to look at. That's all. It's not even like in the anime where Ash gives Professor Oak a real-life Pokemon to research with, to use for his research. It's just like, you give them images, entries of them. You don't even give them the real thing. Honestly, Ash is so much more helpful Ash is so much more helpful in helping Pokemon researchers with their research in the anime than any protagonist in a Pokemon game is with helping professors, or like hold on. Ash is so much more helpful to Pokemon researchers in the anime than any Pokemon game protagonist is with helping Pokemon researchers in the games. But, yeah. Anyway, guys, that'll do it for today's episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. This is Alex Espion, signing off.